Hi, welcome to Glen Meditation. One thing I do quite often is look over YouTube for gems, like videos that are really good. And when I find some videos that I like or maker, I like to tell people. I like to try to keep it in the meditation and health areas and diet stuff. Um, Recently, I found a really good series on YouTube. It's a channel called selfactualized.org. And if you're looking for the videos that I particularly think are really good and that I haven't watched the whole, he's got a lot of videos, I haven't watched all of them, but he's got a particular series that's on the colors involved in something called spiral dynamics. And if you go and look at the videos there, you start at blue and then you watch the orange and then the green and then yellow, and the turquoise has I think been deleted too far advanced for YouTube. But anyhow, spiral dynamics is a way to break down complex systems and understand them in simple terms. So in this world we live in nowadays, when there's a lot of politics and division, spiral dynamics is a good way to have a common language that people can speak. And instead of getting in arguments and getting divided, we can start having a linking language or something for people to communicate and understand problems from a higher point of view. So spiral dynamics is one model, and another model that's pretty popular now is integral theory from Ken Wilber. And for me personally, when I watch Wilber, I just I don't, you know, I like what he says and everything, but my mind just turns off. He might actually be too intelligent for me, or just his way of speaking is too much in that left brain quadrant or whatever he's saying. But just in simple terms, I just don't resonate with Wilbur so much, even though I know he's really brilliant. But Leo, who's made these spiral dynamics videos on his self-actualized program, they're simple. I think it's an easier way to learn it, and he's put a lot of time in to making the videos, and people say, wow, that's a long video to watch. But I think it takes that. He's taken a very complex subject and broke it down so that we can understand it in a simple way. And it gives you a way to see where people are at if you're doing coaching or guiding or just anything where you're trying to relate better with people. One thing I always have a challenge with is I tend to talk above people's heads, or I do the opposite. I'm going, okay, don't talk above their heads, so I tell myself to dumb things down, and then I'm talking below people's awareness. So one thing with the spiral dynamics thing, you watch through the videos and you kind of know that it's not, it can come off as sounding like you're judging people, but if you just realize that you're using a model and you kind of take it lightly, you can see clear patterns and everything. And what I've learned with working with people over years is people have a lot of different parts in them, and different parts of them are at different levels of awareness and consciousness and development. So it's very confusing. In me, I'm called Glenn, and that's a name given to me, but then I have all these other parts and genetic expressions and parts of myself that are at different levels of development. And that's what's sometimes confusing about being a human being, is parts of us are at different levels of development. And so you can find yourself going, like, one part of yourself watching the other part going, what are you doing, And even when quite often in life, when you know not to do something, the pattern still continues, and that's really weird being a human. But what I like about spiral dynamics, and in particular this series that Leo's done to summarize it, is it starts giving a lot of people that are arguing all the time a way of, when you're arguing or have a difference of opinion, just to see that you're probably fighting about the development. Like, for instance, there's a stage blue, which is very basic organization, like fundamentalism, religious countries and people and stuff like that. And if you can see their patterns in watching the video, you can start saying, well, yeah, even we have people that are more evolved have those patterns in some essence. We're having a bad day or we're stressed or whatever, we can fall down to that level. And then you start seeing that maybe our society lives in a very materialistic, consumerist kind of economic way. And if you just start realizing that's just a stage of human development, which they call stage orange, you start realizing, well, that people are caught up in that. And then you see the parts of yourself that are caught up in that. And then you're like, well, how do I move this into what's the goal when I realize I'm stuck in consumerism or shallow living or stuff like that? And then you see, well, there's things you can do, like you can do stuff like, then you watch a video on green. What does green do, the level above orange? Well, green is connecting more with their feelings, more like hippies and stuff like that. And you can see a lot of like the Jordan Peterson debates and stuff on YouTube and stuff, and you see in the news the greens fighting with the orange people being the materialists, and people interested in money and selling and buying stuff. So you can see this, it's just different philosophies that are fighting. The interesting thing about the theory is that they say until we reach up to what's called level yellow, which is called second tier, our decisions will always be our lower parts, blue, orange, and green, and other parts arguing with each other, the different facets of society. And then when we get up to the level of yellow, we can actually start making our choices based on which association we use. Like, if this situation should we make an economic decision based on money, or should we make an environmental one based on the green thinking? So you could have a government that functioned in that way, that they had different policies for different things, rather than nowadays we kind of get lumped into pushing this mass orange agenda. Orange being a level of development where it's about materialism, hard, cold science, and making it and pushing ahead. Even though when we see, especially in Vancouver and places right now, you just see thousands of people homeless, and it's just, the whole West Coast is just crazy. But this economic machine is just going along in stage orange, thinking everything's fine. And then the greenies are coming in and saying, well, we're going to disrupt all this, which is, now you got two stages that are not very developed, fighting with each other for supremacy. So if we get up to higher stages like yellow, then we'll probably be able to start solving problems from that point. But we need a certain mass of people to reach that before they have an influence. These are the theories. So you can watch Spiral Dynamics videos if you want to learn a cool theory, kind of like a map of all the chaos you see on the news and everywhere. And you start understanding, or when you're talking to someone, you get a deeper sense of where they're at, and while some things you introduce they kind of deny, and other things they argue about, and what triggers people. That's a really good thing about the Spiral Dynamics videos, is just learning what triggers, like what stage of development are they at, and why do certain, say to one person, have a vegan burger and they laugh and they want one, and another person like gets angry and stuff like that, or vice versa. I guess I should say it the other way around. It's usually the vegans that get angrier. But anyhow, I could go on for hours about all the stuff I learned in these videos. I think there's 4 main ones to watch, and then 2 other ones describing how to use it. The turquoise, which is the top color of the video, disappeared for some reason. So anyhow, that's, go to just search on YouTube Spiral Dynamics stage and then watch the ones on the colors. And it's on, his site is called selfactualized.org. That's what it lists on YouTube and the internet. So anyhow, take care. Check out Spiral Dynamics. Bye bye.